Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, Alhamdulillah, we have finished the Quranic passages. Now we will move on to the next topic, which is the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet. In the passages, we discuss the main theme and the importance of those passages, and in the Ahadith, we have the teachings and the applications of these Ahadith. How we can apply the teachings which are mentioned in the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet in our daily lives. So now we will start with the PowerPoint presentation in which we will discuss the teachings and the applications of these Ahadith.
So now we will begin with Hadith number 1. Religion is sincerity. We said, to whom? The Prophet ﷺ said, to Allah, His book, His messenger, the leaders of the Muslims, and to their common people. The teachings of this hadith, that this hadith focuses on the individual responsibilities of a good Muslim. The Holy Prophet teaches us that we should follow the faith of Islam with dedication. He tells us that we must live our lives as obedient servants of Allah, and we should be sincere in everything that we do. We should believe and act upon the teachings of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet, so that we could be obedient Muslims and good members of the society. We should believe and act according to the main principles of Islam, and we should avoid creating disturbances, so that we should not upset the community, but be loyal to the members of the community and try to be a good member of the society who serves for the benefits and for the betterment of the people around him. Now, how we can put the teachings of this hadith into action? Number 1, that we should be sincere in whatever we do. Sincerity to Allah means that there are two aspects of being sincere to Allah. Number 1, sincerity in worship, that we must worship Allah alone and avoid associating any partner with Him. Second, sincerity is the sincerity in our belief, that we must have absolute faith in Allah, that He is only creator, He is the only sustainer, and He is our only Lord. This is sincerity with Allah. Sincerity with His book, that we must have the belief that the Holy Quran is the word of Allah that was revealed on the Holy Prophet, and without any doubt these are the words, the commandments of Allah, and is preserved from the time it was revealed on the Holy Prophet till this day. There isn't any change in it. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is the book, لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. There is no doubt in it. Sincerity with the Holy Prophet, or sincerity with the prophets, that all of the previous prophets which were sent before the Holy Prophet, we should have belief in all of them. There were around 1,24,000 prophets who came in this world. We should have the belief that all of them were sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the guidance of mankind. And the last prophet was the seal of the prophets, there would no other prophet who will come after the Holy Prophet, and whatever the teachings the Holy Prophet brought, that came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Nor does he speak from his own desire, it is only a revelation revealed. So whatever message, whatever commands the Holy Prophet brought, he was commanded, he was informed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sincerity to the leaders of the Muslims, that it is a duty of a good citizen that he should follow the rules and regulations which are implemented, which are enforced by the head of the state or by the rulers, which are for the welfare of the common people. We must obey the Muslim rulers in everything until and unless they don't force us to do any of the disobedience of Allah or the main commandments of Islam. And in the end, sincerity to the common people, that we must be serving the common people around us. We should have a caring attitude towards them and extend our full help and support and services to them, whether they are Muslims or whether they are non-Muslim. So how we can put the teachings into action? That we should be sincere in whatever we do, whether it's regarding our belief or whether it's regarding the common people around us. Next, we should avoid showing off. Whatever we should do, we should only have one intention, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should be simple and sincerely follow the teachings of Islam. Islam avoids ostentation. Ostentation means showing off. That we should be simple in our religion, in our faith, in our actions, in our deeds, and follow the teachings of Islam with sincerity. Islam is a complete code of life. It does not only emphasizes on the commandments or worshipping, but it gives you clear instructions regarding each and every single step, each and every single thing which surrounds you or the society. Many daily life examples you can also use, that how you can be a good member of the society, helping the poor, the needy, your relatives, your neighbors around you. Hadith number 2. None of you believes until he wants for his brother what he wants for himself. This hadith emphasizes on Islamic brotherhood or the spirit of equality. It teaches us that a Muslim should desire for other Muslims what he loves for himself. A true Islamic society is one which is based upon love and compassion for other members. Every member of the society should care and help other person. They should treat others the same way as they want themselves to be treated. A Muslim community is a community where there are no barriers regarding race, color, caste, creed, or groups. All these barriers must be removed, and each and everyone is equal amongst the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, a person should treat others as he wants others to treat him. We should treat others in the same way as we want them to treat us. So, this hadith teaches the Islamic brotherhood or the bonding of faith among the Muslims, that all of the Muslims, whether they are living in any country, irrespective of caste, color, creed, society, nation, all of them are equal and are bound together because of one faith, one religion. Second, it teaches us that we should have a spirit of sacrifice for the people around us, that we should treat others the same way as we demand, as we want that others should treat us. So these were the teachings of this hadith. Now we will move on how we can put these teachings into action. Now, just as we desire respect, honesty, peace for ourselves, we should offer the same to others. For example, if a person commits a mistake, then we should excuse him, as we want for ourselves that if we have committed any mistake, others should forgive us. So in the same way, we should also be forgiving to others, as we expect from others that they should forgive us. Second, the true Islamic society is something in which there is preference to others over ourselves. A very good example of a true Islamic state is the example of the Ansars, that when the Muhajirin who migrated from Makkah to Medina, they had to leave each and everything back in Makkah, and many of them, when they reached Medina, they were empty handed. They didn't have anything with themselves. The Ansars, who were the natives of Medina, they were very generous and kind with the Muhajirin brothers. They shared each and everything with the Muhajirins. In the same way, following the example of the Ansars, we should also be generous to the people around us. An example, when because of the war which started in Afghanistan back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, the Afghan Muhajirins, they left Afghanistan and they migrated towards Pakistan. And the government of Pakistan, the people of Pakistan, open-heartedly welcomed the Afghan Muhajirins, and many of them, they still are living and they consider Pakistan as their second homeland. In the same way, the earthquake which came in October 2005, the people in the northern areas, they really had to suffer. Their homes, their businesses, their markets, their properties were completely destroyed because of that earthquake. So all of the Muslims, all of the people of Pakistan, they helped those who suffered because of the earthquake. And a very good example which we can use as the actions of this hadith is the recent situation of COVID-19, which is going nowadays. In detail, I will give you many examples in the online class which we will have regarding this hadith number 2. So how we can put the teachings into actions, that we should give preference to others and we should like for others the same as what we like for ourselves. So these are the teachings into actions of hadith number 2. Hadith number 3. Let him who believes in Allah and the last day either speak good or keep silent, and let him who believes in Allah and the last day be generous to his neighbor, and let him who believes in Allah and the last day be generous to his guest. Now students, the teachings of this hadith, that this hadith focuses on the individual and the communal responsibilities of a true believer. This hadith contains a message, a rule regarding the tongue, that a person who believes in Allah and the last day should be careful about his tongue. Either he should speak good or he should remain silent. Why? Because on the day of judgment he will be questioned about each and every single word which he would have spoken from his tongue, from his mouth, and each and every single act, each and every single deed which he would have performed. So this hadith focuses on a very important rule regarding the tongue and our behavior towards each other, that we should be careful about what we speak and how we behave with each other, because on the day of judgment we will be held accountable for each and every single sentence, each and every single word, and each and every single act which we would have performed in this world. So we should be careful about how we speak and how we act. If our words will be pleasing to Allah, either it can raise our rank on the day of judgment, and if our words are as such that they displease Allah, it may cause for a punishment on the day of judgment. Second, this hadith emphasizes that a person who believes in Allah and the day of judgment, he should be generous to his neighbor and he should be generous to his guest. What we learn from this second and the third part of the hadith, that we should be a source of comfort to our neighbors and we should treat our guests with hospitality. That is, a person who believes in Allah and the day of judgment, he should be kind, generous, a source of comfort for his neighbors, and he should treat the guest with hospitality, with kindness, with generosity. So these were the teachings of this hadith number 3. Number 1, that a person who believes in Allah and the day of judgment, either he should speak good or he should remain silent. Number 2, a person who believes in Allah and the day of judgment, he should be generous to his neighbors. And number 3, a person who believes in Allah and the day of judgment, he should be generous to his guest. Now how we can put these teachings into actions? Number 1, as I just said in the teachings, either we should say something which is beneficial and good for others, or we should remain silent. Once the Holy Prophet came in Masjid Nabawi, the companions were sitting. The Holy Prophet held his tongue like this in between his 2 fingers and said to the companions who were sitting there that many of the dwellers of hell will be thrown into hell because of this. That is, many of the dwellers of hell, they will be sent in hell because of the misuse of the tongue. So we should be careful that whatever we speak, it should be beneficial for others, and if it's not beneficial for others, we should remain silent. Why? As I just told you in the teachings, that on the day of judgment we will be held accountable for each and every single word which we would have spoken from our tongue. So how we can put the teachings into action? That this hadith emphasizes that either we should say something good or we should remain silent. Number 2, as I explained you in the teachings as well, that a person who believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment, he should be a source of comfort for his neighbors. And a person who believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment, he should be kind and generous with his guest. We should assure that our neighbors don't have any problem, or our guests, they don't feel that we are not pleased from their coming. So we should be a source of comfort for our neighbors. Our neighbors should be safe from us. Next, that we should be kind and generous with our guests. It is mentioned in the Ahadith that the guests are sent by Allah. So we should not behave as if we are displeased by their coming. We should be kind, we should be generous with them. Following the advices which are mentioned in this hadith, that either we should speak good or remain silent, we should be generous to our neighbors, we should be generous with our guests. If we will follow these advices which are given by the Holy Prophet, this will lead to a very peaceful, very harmonious society in this life, and we will earn the pleasure of Allah in the life hereafter. So by putting the teachings into action, by saying something good or remain silent, by being a source of comfort for our neighbors, by being kind and generous to our guests, this will lead to a very peaceful, very pleasant, very harmonious society, and it will earn the pleasure of Allah in this world and in the life hereafter. Hadith number 4. A man asked the Prophet ﷺ, "Do you think that if I perform the obligatory prayers, fast in Ramadan, treat as lawful that which is lawful, and treat as forbidden that which is forbidden, and do nothing further, I shall enter paradise?" He said, "Yes." Now the teachings of this hadith, that the religion of Islam is based on ease and comfort. It indicates that a person who wishes to enter paradise, he would have to perform the obligatory acts and avoid the unlawful acts. For example, a person who wishes that he should enter paradise after his death, he won't have to perform anything difficult or which is not possible for him. Only he would have to perform the obligatory acts which have been mentioned in the Holy Quran or in the Ahadith, and he should avoid doing the unlawful acts which have been forbidden in Islam. A person came to the Holy Prophet and asked, "O Holy Prophet, if I perform the prayers, fast in the month of Ramzan, perform the obligatory acts and avoid the unlawful acts, will I enter paradise?" The Holy Prophet said, "Yes." Now a question might come in your mind that only prayers and fasting is mentioned in this hadith. So is it not necessary that we should perform the other obligatory acts? No, it is necessary, but only prayers and fasting was asked by that person because prayers and fasting are such obligatory acts which are obligatory on each and every Muslim. For example, whether he is poor, he can perform the prayers, he can fast in the month of Ramzan, but to give zakat or to perform Hajj, zakat and Hajj are only obligatory under certain conditions. If you will have a certain amount of wealth, you will have to give zakat. If you will have the facilities to perform Hajj, if you will have the amount to perform Hajj, then only Hajj will be obligatory on you. But prayers and fasting are such acts that they are obligatory under each and every condition. So only prayers and fasting is mentioned in this hadith. So this hadith highlights the basic principles upon which a person would be eligible to enter paradise. That the minimum requirement to enter paradise is that a person should perform the obligatory acts which have been mentioned in the Holy Quran or in the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet, and he should avoid doing the unlawful acts which have been forbidden in Islam. So the religion of Islam is based on ease and comfort, that to enter paradise is very easy. Only you will have to perform what has been lawful in Islam, what has been made obligatory in Islam, and you should restrain, you should avoid yourself from doing what is forbidden. You will enter paradise. How we can put these teachings into actions? That we should consider, we should treat the lawful which is permissible in Islam. Okay, whatever is allowed in Islam, we should perform it, and whatever is prohibited in Islam, we should treat it as forbidden. This hadith emphasizes on distinguishing between halal and haram, that you will have to look whatever you are eating, whatever you are earning, in each and every aspect of your daily life, whatever you are doing, you will have to assure that whether it is permissible or it is prohibited, whether it is halal, whether it is haram, whether it's allowed or whether it's disallowed in Islam. So to treat the lawful as permissible and to treat the forbidden as prohibited, or in other ways to distinguish between halal and haram, it's very necessary in Islam. Whether it's related to your food, whether it's related to your earnings, or whatever you are doing in your daily life, if you will assure that whatever you are doing is permitted, is permissible, is lawful, is halal, and you're stopping yourself, you're restraining, you're stopping yourself from haram, from what is prohibited, what is impermissible, what is not allowed, these things will assure the pleasure of Allah and you will enter paradise.
So this was the explanation of the teachings and the applications of the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet, which we just discussed in the PowerPoint presentation. If you have any queries, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the online classes. And in the same way as I uploaded the worksheet regarding the Quranic passages, I will upload the worksheet which will include the instructions how you will have to do your homework regarding the Ahadith of the Holy Prophet. Till then, please take good care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.